Okay, I just want to remind everybody that I am recording the meeting. So, you know, just want to warn everybody and let everybody know that I'm doing that before we get going here. I'm going to share my screen. If everybody would please stand, mute your computer just for the pledge to the flag, and then unmute when we do the four-way test. So join me in the pledge of the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, you can unmute. And let us recite in total unison the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. First,
is it the truth?
The truth.
Second,
Is it
Is it
fair
fair
to
to
all
all
concerned?
concerned?
third,
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
fourth,
Will it be
Is it
beneficial
beneficial
to
to
all
all
concerned?
concerned?
and fifth.
Is it fun?
Fun.
It'd be fun.
Bacon. Arg.
Bacon, R.
No.
Dr. Green's going, what did I get myself into? And Gina's going, this is my first meeting on Zoom, and this is imperfect chaos at its finest. Chris, I did not hear your 7-second delay today. You had your mic off the whole time, didn't you?
Still has.
It does.
That's good.
It's still off, but now it's on.
It's like you work for the FCC. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Eileen, do you have a thought for the day for us?
I do. Today's quote comes from Nelson Mandela, and it, excuse me, and it is, character is how you treat those that can do nothing for you.
I like it.
Good.
Awesome. Thanks, Eileen. I usually give a few moments to let that set in, have some reflection time. Okay, I read people's faces. We do have a couple guests today. Dr. Janice Green from the Snohomish County NAACP is here today, and she's our guest speaker. Hi, Dr. Green. Welcome to our Lake Stevens Rotary Club.
Hi, thank you.
And Brian Ruiz is back. And we'll be taking up Brian's application for membership at the next regularly scheduled board meeting in April. Rigorous process, Brian. I hope that you've been working out in preparation for that. Okay.
I'm ready.
You're ready? Okay.
I'm ready.
Birthdays. We don't have any birthdays coming up, but I do want to point out that yesterday was Larry Saint's birthday and his daughter's birthday, and it was also John Spencer's birthday yesterday. I don't see John on with us. Is he on? I don't think so.
No.
But it was his birthday yesterday. And I don't know if we've had an opportunity to, or given Larry the opportunity to have us either sing happy birthday as a collective group, or I'll pay $10 to have Sam, and other people can kick in to have Sam sing Larry happy birthday, or you can pay $15, Larry, and not have us do anything except come down to Arizona.
$15? Wow, I don't know. It's hard to weigh that. Maybe we should have Sam sing it, and then we'd be criticism free.
Okay. I'm kicking in $10. Anybody else want to kick in any money to hear Sam sing Larry happy birthday?
Yeah, I'll put in $5.
I got 5.
I'll do 5.
There we go. Sam, you have the best singing voice in all of Snohomish County, maybe the state of Washington. So
Oh, you are adorable. I don't, but at least at this time in the morning, I do. Okay, so happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Larry. Happy birthday to you.
Moderate winds this morning at
Happy
49
birthday,
miles
Larry.
an hour to 54 miles an hour.
And I did.
54 miles an hour?
Yeah, that was John Spencer. That was for him too. So he's on. Hi, John. He's on. He must be on the phone or something. Okay, I muted him. Spouse birthdays. There's no spouse birthdays in March, or marriage anniversaries. We've celebrated all those, and Rotary anniversaries. We've celebrated all those. So, Secretary's report, Gary.
Typical board meeting on April the 8th, Thursday night, Zoom meeting. The other thing I mentioned last week is the District 50/50 club training sessions that are coming up, starting off on March 31st. The others will be released later on as far as the various topics. And then the district conference is on May 14th and 15th. Registration is now open for that. That's it.
Super duper. Chris Vallow, Treasurer's report.
All right, so we're looking pretty good. I sent out a check for the Education Foundation and also for reimbursement to Tracy for Cocoon House. That's out there. And that's been it. So short report.
Awesome, thank you. My report, I've been calling back and forth with Bryce Duskin, but we have not made a connection on the Arbor Day fundraiser competition that he had proposed. So I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but stay tuned on that. If it doesn't happen by next week, we'll say that we tried, but we weren't able to make it happen. But the other thing is apparently, and I don't know if anybody wants to talk about this. I didn't know this, but message went out this morning that Aquafest has been officially canceled. Brett, do you want to say anything about that?
I'll confirm that, not deny it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's been canceled.
Okay. Well, that takes well, I think I heard a sigh of relief from Michelle on that, but other than that, it's kind of a bummer.
It takes a bite out of our corn cob.
Yeah, it does, and our fun too. But that's the way it goes in these times. So we can focus all our energy for next September 25th, which will be our next fundraiser, at least right now, for our Corks and Kegs event. We'll have to make that the best we could possibly make it to make it our. I mean, we're kind of for the last 2 years now down to one fundraiser, so one major fundraiser. So this, other than fighting and Happy Bucks. You could call that a major fundraiser.
Hey, Ken, I don't know the operations of the corn cob operation, but is there an opportunity to do it during the farmers market? We'll be doing the farmers market all summer long, and this also opens up an additional farmers market during that Aquafest week.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, something to
consider. We would have to, I mean, the only thing I can think of, we would have to stagger our corn order and then sell corn at the farmer's market. That would be a good idea.
I wonder if come up with one every once in a while.
Even if we just pick one day or whatever, you know, throughout that season, 1 or 2 times or during the Aquafest time.
Yeah. Quite honestly, and I think we all know this, the corn wasn't a huge moneymaker for us. It was really the raffle on the Pirate Plunder deal. So I think it would be great to get our name out, though, to do something like that, to join in with the farmers market, though, and have a Rotary presence there. That would be a great idea. And corn may be the venue to do that. Something that we can. Gary, are you taking note of this, that we can put it on the board meeting?
Yep.
Awesome.
I wonder if there would be enough people present to warrant the setup takedown energy that was required.
Yeah, I don't know that we would want to have the big booth. It would probably be something scaled down quite a bit if we were going to do it. Yeah.
Well, instead of a 10 by 20, we might just do a 10 by 10 booth.
Maybe it'd be easier just to plunder the dang thing and do it all the time.
Just do the raffle.
Yeah, you could have a raffle booth.
We could sell raffle tickets at every farmer's market.
And corn.
What's it cost to have a booth at the farmer's market?
I don't know, Sarah Jensen's your contact on that, who runs the market.
Okay.
I can tell you that it's well attended. I mean, I've been down there
Yeah.
3 or 4 times and there are a lot of people there. So I think you get a volume, and everybody loves corn.
It is a production with the boilers and all that, so.
Yeah, the setup and the cleanup, those of us that have done the setup and the cleanup after all that corn mess to do that weekly would be a big chore, but
Yeah.
we could do something to have a presence there, and maybe do the raffle tickets all along and then do the last drawing on the last day of the farmer's market. So
And we could dress up like Vikings. Like, how fun would that be?
We could sell, maybe instead of corn, pickles on a stick.
How about just our popcorn?
I can tell you that there is a lot of food down at the farmer's market and it's all good. So I mean, we would have to be competitive because there is some really good like bakery items and stuff like that down there too. So you just got to, well, we could talk about this more at the board, but I think that it's something that we can think about. Definitely would be a good presence for us.
Pickles on a stick.
Pickles on a stick.
Is there like an ice cream or a gelato presence at the farmer's market right now? I just think of like pre-made, like ready to rock and roll gelatos to sell. On a warm summer day, people are looking for an excuse to get a treat.
There is I think that there's like an ice cream dots or something.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe even the cheerleaders or some gal's organization was selling, I think, ice cream or something. And then there was another person that was selling popsicles. But you got to have the freezer for that, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, more discussion at the board meeting. If you guys want to participate in that, join us at the board meeting on the 8th of April. And I think that's worthy of a conversation.
I'll send that notice out to the entire membership when we get ready to do that.
Sounds good, Gary. Where are we at? Past president's report, Lori.
I do not have anything to report today.
And you don't have a picture. I don't see.
Yeah, there's
Lori.
a good reason for that.
President-elect report. Rochelle, is she on with us today?
Don't think so.
Okay. Committee reports. Keith, club service.
He's not on either.
I saw him earlier.
I think I am. Pretty
Oh,
sure.
there he is.
Yeah.
I don't know. My coug came home last night and Little Friday roughed me up, so I might not be on. I don't know. The only thing I've got is email me. I talked a little bit, Ron and I talked a little bit. Email me if you'd like to be a part of the cohort that we're going to be fleshing out and establishing. That's not a breakfast meeting cohort. So just send me a quick email and we're just going to try to figure out how that's going to look and just kind of flesh out some of the details to come back to both the board and to the membership with. So anybody that wants to be involved in that is welcome. Just let me know.
You forgot part of your report, Keith.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to breakfast yet. Coffee's as far as we've gotten this morning. Luke hit a number on me.
Did you see everybody's reaction just now? Don't you know that we live vicariously through you?
I'm really sorry. I was pretty proud I made it up and functional, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
that kid has got some energy.
Yeah, well, you don't want to keep up with your kids and the kind of things that they're bringing home from Washington State University.
Yeah, especially when they're cougs, you know.
Yeah.
They're athletes over there.
He didn't come home and share all the classes and have you look at his engineering classes and things like that?
His mom asked him how school was going and he mumbled something about, I think I'm going to graduate, under his breath. So
awesome.
I think we're good.
That is cause for celebration.
Yeah.
Community services, Eileen.
Thank you. I am going to defer to Kristen because I was not able to make the cleanup. So Kristen, I will let you do the report for the cleanup, if that's okay.
It was wet. We had a really nice time, and while we were gathering the garbage, it wasn't bad, but afterwards it was pretty miserable. Thanks, Dr. Collins, for the donuts. We really appreciate it.
I'm sorry that, yeah, Saturday slipped away from me.
Just kidding. We had it
You
handled.
said you were going to do it.
I
Your
did
name
it.
came up many times, however, during that entire walk.
I would have shown up with granola and yogurt and fruit anyway, because I think about people's nutritional value.
Hot chocolate.
Yeah.
But there was 9 of us all together, and I hope Gary's camera is okay.
Yeah, it is. It's all shown on the website as far as a picture of the cleanup, including one other event that Interact did that she'll tell you about later.
Fantastic. Membership, Ronald.
Membership, we're all good. Brian is here. Yes, we did receive Brian's application that we will, like Ken said, rigorously comb through at our next board meeting. There should be a phlebotomist and a fingerprint person coming to your house soon, so just be ready for that. So,
did I hear Kung Fu in there?
Kung Fu. Yeah. Hopefully there's no Kung Fu but welcome, Brian.
Yep, welcome, Brian. Thank you. It's great to have you with us in our club. It's going to be fantastic. I'm presupposing that your membership will sail through with flying colors. It's just going to all depend on how many 4-count burpees you can do.
Nice.
I know how many I can do right there. 0. Okay, international, Tracy.
Yes, nothing new to report. Definitely, I still am remiss in sending out an email to the club. I need to send email addresses to IPA of those of us who are on the international committee. So watch for an email from me. I promise I'll get it done today, asking if you would like to be on the international committee. And I know there's several who have already said this many times, so I apologize. Respond again if you don't mind. Also, thinking of the board for next year, I love this club. I love being on this committee, but if somebody else would like to take over, I'm happy to step back and remain involved, but just please let me know. The other thing is we have spent not all of our money. So we do have some money left in the International Committee Fund. It does not have to all go to IPA. So if anybody has any other outside international support organization that we could give support to, let's explore that. So please let me know, respond to that email. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Tracy. And Lance, I saw your note in the chat. I think you're up after Kristen. I'll get to you for vocational. Kristen, Interact. But first, Kristen, I was remiss. I said there were only 2 guests and there was 3. I'm sorry, Josie. Would you like to introduce your guest today, Kristen?
Yes, I would like to introduce the Interact treasurer and one of the most spectacular young women that I know. She's very passionate about social justice, so I invited her to come and hear Dr. Green this morning. But she could also talk about what we did at Ashley Point.
Josie, I'm Kristen Odegaard's daughter. We went to Ashley Point yesterday. No, sorry. We went to Ashley Point on Wednesday, and beforehand we painted rocks, and then we hid them throughout the I want to say campus, but we hid them throughout Ashley Point so that the residents there could go on a little scavenger hunt since it's almost Easter time, and they could look at the fun little rocks that we painted, and we have little sayings on them. So it's nice to meet you.
Thanks, Josie,
So,
and thanks.
yeah.
I was
Go
just
ahead.
going to say thanks, Josie, and thanks for your community service. I'll bet that was awesome for the residents of Ashley Point.
And there's one more thing I'm putting in the chat. I will in a moment. A link to, we did the anti-bullying curriculum in October for standing up against bullying. Starting April 1st, there is a run, walk, roll against bullying. And what we're doing, it's a virtual run, walk, roll. You just log in how many miles that you move each day in the month of April. And the goal is to go all the way around the world to spread the word about anti-bullying. And all of you can join. I figured it was a great way, one, for us to get up and get moving, two, to get the word out about standing up against bullying, and another activity for Interact to do. So I will put the link in the chat, and all of you guys should join the LSHS Interact team to stand up against bullying.
I'm guessing rolling is riding your bike. I'm hoping.
It could be, or it could be if you are in a wheelchair or something like that. So anything on wheels, probably not a car or a motorcycle.
If you want to see some of the rocks that the Interact kids produced, just go to our website because there are photos of them.
Thanks, Kristen. And thanks, Josie. That's awesome. Vocational, Lance.
Okay, so quick update. I went and got my coffee and I came back and Kristen was talking, so I thought maybe I typed it in the chat. We still only have one application for a scholarship, but I talked to Kim LaFortune after last meeting and she didn't see extending the April 9th deadline yet. She said that procrastination is these high school seniors' middle name. And so she felt that we would see more scholarship applications before the 9th, but we can still leave that flexibility. And if we've still only got a few that week, we can extend it by another week and really do some promotion, but she was gonna send it out again. And then I just sent an email to the club. Kristen, thank you for recruiting 4 great candidates for Yale from the club. So you guys should have in your email box now short little bios about those 4 students.
Awesome. Thanks, Lance. Rochelle's not here for public relations, and Jim's not up in Hawaii for foundation. I don't think Jim's here, is he?
No.
Once we went to daylight savings, he dropped off the map. It got to be a little early in Hawaii for him to get up. But I did see John Spencer. Where's John? John, are you here? Yeah, he's still not on with us. Anyway, I wanted to wish him happy birthday. Any other business announcements? Okay, so we've got about 5 or so minutes, and I'll tell you what, I'll just open it up for you can either find yourself or you can be happy. But we'll open it up for happy bucks and self-finding if there's something that you would like to fine yourself for, an act of contrition if you want to call it that, or something of that nature, you know, totally up to you. So for the next 5 minutes, it's open for fines and happy bucks.
I have a happy buck. I want everybody to notice Joyce's really cute haircut. She got a bob. Isn't she darling? And yes, she's gorgeous. Monday or Tuesday, I haven't figured out my schedule yet. Joyce and I are going to go on a trip. We're going to go up and drive around. So watch out, world. So that's $5 for me.
Who's driving?
Well, we're going to decide that on Tuesday or Monday.
I have $10 for Tracy for taking me to get my haircut, which was driving me crazy.
It does look fabulous, Joyce.
Yeah.
Well, it's certainly better than it was. So it was fun.
I have $5 because my wife had successful knee replacement surgery on Monday.
Oh.
And I'm having fun being a nurse again.
I've got a happy 20. Eileen, I'll let you have the event if you want, but yesterday we found out with the release of the state legislative budget, Brett, thank you for your support, that we received a legislative appropriation in the capital budget for an expansion that we're working on at Sherwood.
Oh, great.
Congratulations. That's fantastic. That's great news.
And I'll just piggyback on Lance. Thank you, Lance. We did our event last week, and we are so close to our goal, but it was a huge success. Oh, and happy 10. I should put that out there first. So thank you all for your support, your contributions, your sharing. I'm not going to give the final total yet because we're still tallying, but it is one of the best events we've had. And we owe partly that to Lake Stevens Rotary and all of the support. So thank you. Oh, and one last thing. It is official. My husband is graduating. It is done. He will get his diploma in the next 45 days. So go, Tom.
Well, I've got 10 happy bucks. I've got two granddaughters that are being raised bilingual, Spanish as well as English. And they're real excited because we have a new goddaughter through Tracy or the IPA program in Honduras. And part of the advantages of that is you get to write letters and possibly even do phone calls if there's a cell phone available. But we're looking forward to them having a few years of occasional communication with their new, I guess you'd call it God aunt in Honduras.
Cool. I've got a happy buck. My son graduated Naval Boot Camp. So that's awesome. So excited for his adventure now.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I've got 5 happy bucks. This is our first week back in the classroom for 6th and 7th grade students in the district. It's, after just over a year of being virtual, and I'll tell you, this is certainly a highlight week, for my life, getting to see these kids come back in the classroom, see old friends. I saw a 6th grader and I told him, you've got to come, or I saw a 7th grader. I said, you have to come by my classroom because I get their height the first day of 6th grade. I had him last year. He grew 5 inches, you guys, between the first day of 6th grade and basically, well, halfway through 7th grade. So it's just really cool. They've got deeper voices. Everybody shot up like a weed. But regardless, everybody had a smile on their face. And it has been an awesome first week back in the classroom.
I'll throw in 5 happy bucks for both Connor and Kyle at North Lake. I went over there to watch them work with students as they came onto campus, and there's a process that they need to go to get screened beforehand. And both Connor and Kyle were out there helping students on their own, getting kids into classrooms and being visible. And that's just it was great to watch that teamwork at North Lake. They were able to get kids in their classroom in about 15 minutes off the bus or from their cars and into the classroom in about 15 minutes. Pretty dang impressive. So congratulations to you guys and great work. Anything else?
I was going to pitch in 5 for you because you're helping kids as well get onto their Chromebooks and their Skyward. So yeah, that was great.
Usually kids can show me how to work the computer a little better than I can show them, but in this case, I had a little pocket of knowledge that I was able to share with them. It was a good opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay. Janice, are you ready?
Yes, Mike.
Well, here I'll I'll have Lance introduce you to the whole group now that we're all here. I think, go ahead, Lance.
All right. Well, it is my pleasure, and I'm excited to welcome Dr. Janice Green, who's the current president of the NAACP of Snohomish County. Dr. Green is the Boeing Commercial Airplanes Economic Development and Business Intelligence Strategy Leader. What a title. She's got a BS in Business Administration, an MS in Management from Antioch University, and a PhD from Schema Business School. So currently, Dr. Green serves as Economic Board Member for We Connect. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Is that right? Yeah. A global organization focused on creating opportunities for women businesses, representing Boeing on Clinton's Global Initiative Subcommittee on Girls and Women, and works closely with several minority business development organizations. And I'm happy to get to know you a little bit, Dr. Green, and welcome to our club.
Thank you, Lance. And I think, let me, first let me say, I think I may have given you an old bio. So that's, I retired from Boeing, but that's what I did at Boeing for,
Gotcha.
I was at Boeing for 39 years. So I
Gotcha.
started in the factory and then moved into other things. But while I was at Boeing, that's what I did. I did a lot of economic development and strategy, supplier diversity. And actually I worked in the factory. I started out in the wire shop, but Boeing is a great company and they pay for you to go to school. Of course, I got my phone, I left it over there. Nobody calls me this time of morning. I'm sorry. But so a great company, I was saying, you know, because they paid for my education all the way through. And that's one of the great things about working for Boeing. As of now, I have been the president of the NAACP since 2005. I also run a nonprofit organization called Women Business Enterprise Council Pacific. And we work with women businesses to help them get contracts with corporations. So my board members are like Microsoft, AT&T, Comcast, those, and then we work with the women businesses to help develop them to make sure that they are ready and able to get those contracts either directly with those major corporations or with their tier down. So let me talk a little bit about the NAACP. Most people have heard of us, but most people, we haven't. I love the opportunity to tell you more and also get questions. So the NAACP started in 1909, and it started as a response to lynching. So Black men and women were being lynched quite heavily back then, and a group of people came together. There were a group of white people and Black people that came together to address this situation. So since 1909, the NAACP has been a critical factor in civil rights, and that's what we do. I mean, we're a civil rights organization, and we say civil rights means civil rights in every aspect of our life. And that means education, healthcare, social economic justice, climate justice, everything that we do, law enforcement, of course, law and justice. So every aspect of your life, we look at it from a lens of civil rights. And for a little while, we didn't have, in the last 4 years or so, we have had escalations of what we've had to do. What we have to address. And this is in the schools. We have children complaining about how they're treated at school. I don't know if you've stayed abreast of what was going on in Marysville, where we've had some threats against Black children and minorities in general. We have law enforcement issues where people are detained unfairly or arrested, and we step in. We don't litigate, but we will step in and help find someone to represent them. Or in some cases, it doesn't go quite that far. There's discrimination in the workplace and all of that. So we also, on that side, we address those things, but we also work a lot in the communities. We're now working with Providence Health to make sure that underrepresented people or people that don't have access get the vaccine. We also do some educational programs. We have educational programs for our youth coming up where they're going to learn how to code, how to speak, how to do cybersecurity. We do economic development. We're doing financial literacy for families. We gave financial literacy for families. This last year, we gave out $22,500 worth of gift cards for food. That was through the Snohomish County Foundation. They granted us that. And as we went through and we start talking to people about, and also Group Health Foundation. So when COVID hit, Group Health Foundation had given us some funds, and we pivoted and started using those funds to get assistance out to the community, because people were hurting. We didn't have a lot of money. There were micro grants, but we could help with paying some bills, your light bill, your water bill, if you need prescriptions, that type of thing. And we even helped some with rent, or paid some on that. But we had a limit of $350 for limit of $350, and that's came back to the executive committee, and we quite often went over that $350. And I was addressing the food with the Snohomish County Foundation. Most of that went to elders, the people that were shut in, and families. But what we found during all this community work was that people were struggling. They didn't have finances, but also there was a need for some financial literacy. So we're putting on some financial literacy classes that will help you understand what it is, your credit, how to budget and all of that as well. And we're partnering with Impact Northwest, and we're going to do business classes. And those business classes will be 7 or 8 weeks from beginning, launch and grow. Launch your business, how to grow your business, and then mentoring. So that's some of the things that we do community-wise. And then also, on the other hand, we end up standing in for people to help them get their voices heard. So if you have any questions, I really like to discuss, because people know of us, but they don't know us. So it gives me an opportunity for you to get to know us.
So one of the most recent things that we've been hearing in the paper is the violence against the Asian American community and Pacific Islanders. Are you guys involved in anything going on with that in our local community?
Yeah, we actually put a statement up on our website. That's the other thing that people may not realize, is that we will stand in for anybody. If they make a complaint to us, we will definitely come out and support. We do have process, though. This is an old organization, so we are supportive, and the NAACP altogether is supported. The NAACP is always supportive of everybody's civil rights, and so that's, like I said, that's what we do. So definitely the NAACP at the national level is involved. We are involved somewhat, but we do have, well, let me give it, because sometimes people ask us to come out and do things. We are old organizations, which means that we have a lot of rules. So if you see us out and it's marching and we're out doing direct action, we have to go back to our national office. We have to apply to them that we can take direct action, and then we have to get insurance through them. So we just don't, if you see us out and doing a rally and it's under the name of the NAACP, there's some planning that went on behind it. So you probably won't see us out there as often. Not to say that as individuals we don't participate, but as an organization, we have rules.
Is there a statewide organization at all, or is it strictly just on a county basis?
No, actually, the way we're structured, we have a state area conference, and the president of that is Gerald Hankerson. So the state area conference, and then there's 14 local branches. So there's a King County branch, there's a Pierce County branch, Snohomish County branch, and some of them may be cities. So you could have Spokane has a branch. So, and then so all of the branches report into the state area conference. The state area conference reports into the region 1, and the region reports into national.
Oh, okay.
So we're pretty bureaucratic.
Dr. Green? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Joyce.
I just finished reading the book Chase, which I would recommend to everybody to read. It is absolutely a wonderful book. But what my question is, here in Snohomish County, do you find that people are really are still prejudiced, and what's going on here in our community? Can you?
Yeah. Yes, I do. I find that, I don't know if people realize how prevalent it is in our county, but over the last 4 years, it's really escalated. We have people that will, yell at the kids out the door, out through the window, throw things at people. We have people that are, so in the workforce, they have difficulty. Yeah. I guess my short answer is yes. And we probably have a lot of examples because we get those calls. The other thing that we're doing as a chapter is we're putting in a hate map on our website so that we can start, so people can come in and start reporting incidents to us. A lot of people are afraid to come forward because they're afraid of retaliation. Other people come forward and we do what we can to address their situations.
Dr. Green, I just wanted to say that I really appreciated the NAA and your letter to the folks of Snohomish County on the NAACP Snohomish County website addressing the Marysville incident of a hate crime. I read that and the letter that you wrote. Obviously that's a example of some real explicit racism that you don't see as often today. Most of the racism I think that we see bubbles under the surface in the form of, systemic racism or implicit bias or microaggressions that happen that chip away at the spirit of traditionally underserved populations. What do you do? What does the NAACP do? And how do they work to reduce those kinds of systemic racism that exists just underneath the surface of organizations?
Yeah, that's a difficult one, right? Because in one way, the people have found out how they can be discriminatory and really not get caught, because it's like those microaggressions, like you're talking about, those things that chip away at the soul of people. But we do work with, we work with the county in their social justice department. We've worked with the police department and on task force and things like that. We try to bring some knowledge to people. It's kind of disheartening over the last 4 years, the things that we see and what we have to deal with, and especially when it's impacting people's jobs. And again, I don't know that it's as low key as it used to be. It used to be more, like you said, implicit bias and all that. That used to be more of that, but now it's kind of escalated to a point where people are much more overt about their racism and much more overt about being able to say and do things that you probably wouldn't have said or done 10 years ago publicly. So yeah, I think it's about changing the culture and changing the way that people behave. I was telling somebody back when I was a kid, we used to have on our report card, we used to have a thing called citizenship. And if you came home and you had a bad mark in citizenship, you were in big trouble with your parents because you didn't know how to behave. I think we need a report card on citizenship. We need to make sure that people understand. I mean, you don't have to love me, but you should respect my person, right? That doesn't. So I think that we've devolved in a way that I was surprised. I mean, I always, since I do this work, I've always been, and I've been doing this work since the 1960s, which is sad because I was, back in the 70s, in the 70s, I was out marching and all of that during the civil rights era. And then here I am in a different role doing the same thing. So there's not an easy answer. It's going to take all of us. It's going to take community. It's going to take all of us stepping up and saying that we're not going to tolerate this or that.
Dr. Green?
Mm-hmm.
As a educator, what resources do you have available that that we could use from the NAACP?
You know, I'm not, we have an education chair that actually works with education. And one of the things that the young people have come to us, and they want their history told, right? And that's all the young people. They want the Black history told. They want Native history told. They want to know any of the Asian, the Japanese have a long history here. So history is not history to them. They get upset with their classes, and this is a common complaint. The only thing that they learn about their history is Martin Luther King and slavery. And then when you talk about slavery, everyone turns around and looks at them, you know? So it's not always big things, it's little things. Well, that's a big thing if we can get the history, the real history of the country told. So if you're an educator, I'd be sensitive to that. Maybe include some other history, include authors, there's inventors. I mean, we all have a history here and we have all contributed, and those contributions don't often come through to our children.
Thank you.
Dr. Green, actually a follow-up on Kristen's question. I moved here from St. Petersburg, Florida 2.5 years ago. My family's from Irma, South Carolina, and Florida. The last cross to burn in St. Petersburg, Florida was the year that I was born in 1984. And you know, racial tensions were always high in St. Pete. You know, the state that the Palmetto State, where most of my family's from, they hung the Confederate flag right next to the state flag until the massacre, Dylan Roof. You know, so coming out here, it is interesting to see that the 42nd state ratified. You have residents still flying the Confederate flag. So there are these symbols out there that continue to kind of they're around. So yeah, I'm a firm believer in the use of education, and I know our the Pinellas County NAACP, they would offer opportunities for people to come in and really to learn about the history of the South, how the politics of the South kind of made their way out, and these states at an early time, as they were being ratified, were making you know, policies around whether or not they were going to be a slave state or not a slave state. So I guess my question to you is, what kind of offerings, public offerings, does the NAACP offer? Granted, we don't have in-person meeting now, but to educate people about our collective history.
Right. So we just did something called the Untold Truth, which I'm getting the title wrong, but it goes through history. We just did that in February. We're going to do it again. And it's going to talk about that. It's going to talk about history and slavery and then kind of the overall, you know, the overall kind of how we've moved through so we will be doing that. I'm trying to think of stammering because I'm trying to think of the title, but I'll let you all know.
Is it the 1619 project?
No, it's not. It's a local person that
okay.
So it will, but I'll let you know when we do that. But when are you talking about, you know, like I said, I've been in Washington, well, in Everett since 1963. And there were occasions where crosses were burned here and in Everett and in Marysville. And, you know, so so people come and they bring with them whatever it is, the prejudice that they have. They grow up with it in their house. It's, you know, it's like secondhand smoke, right? So it just becomes one of those types of things that we just have to figure out how we deal with. I think it's like a virus. It's like a disease. It's like something that you really have to take hold of and make sure that it doesn't spread. We have an interesting history here in Snohomish County. Like I said, I've been here since 1963. And when I was growing up, we were never allowed to go across that trestle. Even if we wanted to go to, like if we wanted to go east of the mountains, my dad would tell you, if you get a flat tire, just keep on rolling, just don't stop there. We'll replace the rim, right? And so there was that. So we have our own history that I don't think we've dealt with. And unfortunately, dealing with this type of dealing with racism and discrimination takes having those really honest conversations, right? You have to delve down in. You can't keep people comfortable. People don't want to talk about it. The last thing anybody wants to be called is a racist. But you know, we all have our biases regardless. But it's going to take the community having those really deep conversations and figuring out how we move forward.
Any other questions for Dr. Green? Well, Dr. Green, I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning in the Lake Stevens School District, and next year I'll be the superintendent. So I have a keen interest in this topic. Obviously, equity, diversity, inclusion has to be a big part of our educational system. And you know, and if you see Gina down below and Connor and Kyle, we're all part of the school district, and Kristen too, and we're all very uniquely not only situated, but you know, we really want to get the message of equity, diversity, inclusion out there. And one of the biggest things that we struggle with is really hiring teachers that look like our students in a lot of cases, so that we can develop that agency in students where they see successful adults in themselves. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
We try
that's
to do
one of
that.
the things. That's one of the things that we've been trying to do for a long time, but we've been unsuccessful, and we keep working on it. But it's something that we need to continue to try to do.
I agree with you, and it's difficult sometimes to get people to come out here to Snohomish County. But I think if you keep trying, it'll happen. So I want to thank you all for having me. Always open for discussion. Lance has my contact information. Love to talk to you more when you get ready to start doing some more work on like history and you know, just integrating other cultures and people into your narratives.
You know, really quick, I just want to remind us all as a club that Rotary International has put out a statement on racism. And if you have not read that statement, it's not as strong as some that I've seen come from organizations, but it is a statement that our club has put out. So I feel glad to be a part of this club. Thank you, Janice, for coming and spending your time with us today so we can at least talk about this topic.
I appreciate you inviting me, Lance, and I'm sure we'll see each other in other settings. And thank you all for having me. I was a Rotary member at one point, but everything, I just ended up not having the time. So thank you. I appreciate your time.
Dr. Green, I just want to let you know that your conversation will be, comments will be put on our website as part of our weekly story.
Okay.
And I'll try to capture everything that you have said and put it on the website.
Well, thank you. And thank you for being open to talking about this subject. Bye now.
Goodbye.
Bye. Anything else for the good of the order today? Tough conversation sometimes, but you know what? That's a subject where you've got to lean into discomfort in a lot of cases, and that's the only way things are going to change.
Well, I have something that I watched a TEDx the other night, and one of the things is the panelists, and I took this away, is how we need to learn how to be uncomfortable with, you know, those discussions, and the courage versus comfort, which is from Brene Brown. And sometimes that, you know, you got to be courageous with your ability to be uncomfortable and start to have those discussions. And the more we learn, the stronger relationships we have, and we start to build community. So it was a really great TEDx, but that courage versus comfort is something that another thing that somebody said is hope for what will happen versus my fear of what will happen. And so even though we might be uncomfortable in some of those conversations, hope hopefully will win out over the fear of having those conversations.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents.
I appreciate that, Sam. That's well said. Anything else? Somebody want to make a comment or a remark?
Joyce mentioned the book, The Chase. It's the second time in 2 days that I've heard it. Tracy and I both heard about it last night on our Sherwood board meeting, and something I'm going to take a look at. I understand it's uncomfortable to read, but that's, like you say, getting out of our comfort zone is what we need to do.
I would just like to say that it is hard to read. However, I have yet to read a book that had such depth of what really is facing our nation and the world, for that matter, probably. But I as I said, it's an incredible book. She has done a lot of research, and I grew up in the South, and there were things that I didn't know. It happened during my lifetime, and all of this has happened during, most of it's happened during my lifetime. But I think it's something that everyone needs to be aware of, and we need to figure out how to fight it.
Right.
Yes, it's really going to affect all of our lives.
What was the name of the book, The Chase?
Chase.
Cast.
Yeah.
It was cast.
Cast. C-A-S-T-E.
Yes.
Oh, Cast.
Did I say Chase?
Yeah, Cast. I should have remembered. Thanks, Tracy.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a good book. Yeah.
One thing about the whole thing is it just seems like the media likes to boil it up rather than eliminate it or help to eliminate or get it back to baseline. They like to jack that up. I don't know why.
Yeah. Okay, everybody, I'm going to end the meeting today. Unless anybody has anything else for the good of the order, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Weather's supposed to get a little better anyway. Hopefully it will. So have a great weekend. This meeting's closed.
Thank you.
Great weekend.
Y'all later.
Nice to see you all.
Is Lauren frozen or is he just asleep? He's breathing. Okay, I was starting to get a little worried there.
Yeah, I think he's sleeping.
Okay.
Yeah, I noticed that.
All right, I'll sign off. Thanks, everybody.
Yep.